So the Syria Freedom Path organization, grassroots organization, established actually to promote American value, democracy and freedom, and defending human rights. We welcome the FBI war crime case brought against top officials in the death of the aid worker Layla Shweikani recently. We welcome their bringing to account top Syrian officials considered key architects of the ruthless system of detention and torture that has flourished under the dictatorship of Bashar al-Assad. Jamil Hassan, the head of Air Force Intelligence Directorate, when Mrs. Shweikani disappeared, and also Ali Mamlouk, then the head of Syrian National Security Bureau Intelligence Services. Noting that there's actually other American citizens captured abroad, including Austin Tice, a freelance journalist covering a war in Syria who was abducted outside Damascus in 2012, and Syrian regime denied having him in his custody. A federal indictment accusing a man of committing war crime would be the first time the United States has criminally charged top Syrian officials with the very human right abuse that Assad has long denied using to silence dissent. Nazi war criminal Alois Burner lived in hiding in Damascus for decades. He was one of the vilest Holocaust perpetrators, then still at large. During the Second World War, Burner was a high-ranking Gestapo official, the number 2 of the Adolf Eichmann, head of Gestapo. Assad, the father and the son, provided safe haven for this Nazi criminal. Assad has taken the path of no return in his crime and magnitude of his massacre against humanity. It will be impossible for any party to condone or bypass it. The credibility and volume of evidence for these massacres exceeded their counterparts in Nazi era. As Americans, our values are to prosecute war criminals and bring them to justice, and deprive regimes committing genocide and crimes against humanity from international recognition, delegitimizing them and encouraging other nations to do so. We strongly believe that the United States, as the world's most influential democracy, has a moral obligation and vital security interest in the global defense of freedom, democracy, and human rights. By doing so, the United States ensures its security, prosperity, global security, and principled international norms and orders. The world has realized, as Mr. Albunni said, that being silent or condoning the massacre of Assad is a threat to humanity, global stability, and security. We have seen this realization during the Russian barbaric invasion of Ukraine. Being silent about crime that size of Assad massacres encourage other tyrannical regimes to commit genocide, especially when these crimes left without accountability. The free world must unite against regimes that commit crimes against humanity. There will be no aversion to prevent the occurrence of such crimes in the future unless the free world is seriously united by its will, determination, and persistence. We have unshakable and strong belief in America, American values and principles. We believe America is beautiful because America is a beacon for hope, hope for freedom, democracy, and human dignity. We are fully confident that our fellow Americans share with us these rooted American values and be our messengers for defending human rights in Syria. We are calling to help the human rights defenders and activists pushing back against Assad dictatorship, tyranny, and authoritarianism to make the promise of freedom and democracy real for all people in Syria. The duality practiced by Biden administration, where on one hand, it doesn't exercise its influence in preventing Congress from issuing laws that hold the Assad regime accountable for his regime, as happened when Congress passed the Captagon bill. However, on the other hand, it refrains from activating these laws. President Biden administration disregarding for the implementing meaningful restriction on Assad regime and their failure to set its priorities in the region to prevent this act issued against him and to take practical steps that lead to holding him accountable and bringing him to justice justice, this administration is committing a grave and fundamental mistake in its plans to achieve its vital interest, as large part of on achieving this interest depends on or is related one way or another to the values and foundation in which the United States was founded and on which US Constitution is based in supporting and defending democracy, freedom, which are not easy and difficult to separate between them. It is the duty of every American to see what Biden administration is doing in the White House. And it is the duty of this concerned citizen, especially human rights defenders and the Syrian American, to work on exposing its violation of American national values and principles, which is essentially diversion against the value of US Constitution and international norms. There's no solution in Syria other than keeping the tight pressure or the threat to using force to impose a political solution and hold Assad accountable and bring him to justice. Has humanity solved the problem of Nazism and Hitler politically without using a force to defeat him? The general rule or values and principles and international norms are to root out criminals, mass murderers, and genocide perpetrators and bring them to justice. Crime is met with punishment, not with meaningless negotiation that keep the perpetrators in power. The solutions in the case of crime is surrendering of the criminal. Thank you very much. I would like to present an award from Syria Freedom Path to Mr. Anwar Albunni, our human rights hero and defenders.
All right, one more time. Let's go.
Thank you. I'm sorry I cut you off.